You gotta like drop it down to me. It's like...
And in this corner.
Yeah, in this corner.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Gauntlet, where we go everything esports news. I'm your host, Captain Zeus. And today we're going over the results for this past weekend's Overwatch League matches. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Lots of C9s, as the kids say, right?
The hip kids, yeah, the cool kids.
Cool kids. Great. And reverse sweeps. Lots of those. But here are the results. For day one, we had Hung Zhao 3-0ing Chengdu. Vancouver getting 3-0'd by Gungzhou, which was...
Ode.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had a good old
Ode.
They got
yeah.
Old-a-looty, da. Move on.
Proceed.
Paris...
Woo!
So close, like right there. But unfortunately, they got 3-2'd by.
Unfortunately,
it was a great game five. And Houston 3-1ing Boston, unsurprisingly. Jerry with the carry. And
poor man, someone help him.
Can someone get this man off this team? And to conclude day one, we had Dallas, unfortunately 3-0ing Washington. Very unexpected.
What?
In day two,
someone expected
we had Chengdu 3-1ing Vancouver, which is also unexpected.
Sad.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Shanghai 3-0ing Gungzhou, which was expected.
Obvious.
Houston with the reverse 3-0 sweep on Toronto. 3-2 is the end result there. Absolutely
wow.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Fortunately, Philly did 3-2 Atlanta in a not-so-close game 5. And to conclude day two, San Francisco 3-0ing LA Gladiators, which was expected. So,
we ever want to talk about the Spark game on day one?
what's to talk about? Hung Zhao just did what Hung Zhao does. Yeah. Moving on. There we go. That's it.
We cleared it up. There you go.
Is the Vancouver. Apparently, they just didn't come to play.
Vancouver, where for art thou? Like, honestly.
They've disappeared. Maybe they switched places with Houston. Who knows? No.
Yeah, they did all Houston's heavy lifting there.
Who? Dude.
Yeah, Houston was playing this week.
They didn't show up. They didn't even look like a team. They were just like...
Is that their C team playing? Do we
I don't know. I was very concerned with what I saw.
I didn't even watch the matches. Granted,
See, yeah, that's why they don't have the face cams anymore, so we don't know who's playing.
We can never tell who's really playing.
Who is that person?
Dude, that was crazy because Gungzhou's
like
the bottom out
of
of the Chinese teams, dude.
I kind of thought the day 2 game with Vancouver was going to be close, but man, how do you get 3-0'd? And that's one of my
2 days. Yeah.
I repped them.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
They got 3-1 today.
It's 2 L's in one weekend, bro, for a top 5 team.
They are, but they definitely didn't look like it this weekend.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. We legit made rankings, and I put them in second place.
You can't do that because
dude, they got destroyed by the bottom tier Chinese team. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Allegedly, they got beat.
And they haven't played in like 10 weeks. So
okay, so you're gonna tell me
that
the second, in Nova's opinion, the second best team in the league hasn't played Overwatch in 10 weeks. They didn't scrim anybody.
No,
they didn't play in matchmaking. They did absolutely nothing. That's what you're telling me.
They played Sudoku.
They didn't play a Chinese team.
Okay, well, technically, none of them have played a Chinese team. That's why they played them now.
So it's not like they were sitting around. But as you've seen, the Chinese teams play way differently than the U.S. teams have so far.
Agreed.
So it's a different play style that you have to practice against.
And I'm going to grab what you have said in these previous 2 weeks. They have had plenty of game footage to watch these Chinese teams to see how they play. So they had time to prepare.
Have they? So out of the 10 weeks, they've had a week of practice on them because they've only seen games for a week.
But they've seen Gungzhou and Chengdu play is the point.
Wait a minute. Time out. Whoa, wait a minute. You're trying to use my logic.
Can I get the time in there?
But you didn't understand my logic. No, you're
Logic's
done.
on Toronto.
So here, no. So Chinese
not?
teams have had footage on Vancouver since week 1?
Okay. Mhm.
And Vancouver only got footage of them last week. So
No, for like 2 to 3 weeks they
no,
have
2
footage
weeks.
on
I'm
us.
sorry, it's 2 weeks. Still, out of the 10 weeks, the Chinese teams have had 10 weeks to look at Vancouver. Vancouver's only had 2 weeks to look at the Chinese teams.
Regardless,
So
they had time. They had time
Yeah,
regardless.
I'm not saying, but there's a huge difference in time window here.
I don't think we can use that excuse anymore because you have online. No matter what
It's
rank
different.
this team is, you can scrim against other teams. You could go on to the competitive matchmaking. You could even just do against bots. I mean, you have time to practice. They're just
It's
sitting at home
completely
doing nothing.
different. No, that is even scrims are completely different than the main game because there's pressure on the main game. There is no What happens if you lose a scrim? You start another scrim. Like there's no big. Who cares if we make a mistake? No big deal. You lose the choke point. No big deal. We'll start a new game.
Okay, but if you're going to be a top team, you can't let this happen.
I'm not.
So
saying
I
this
can
is
get the
excusable.
first day that being happened. They can get like 3-1, 3-0. Okay, fine. That means day 2 they shouldn't take another L. They should be able to take another
unless
dub.
they have a problem with morale, and that's a real possibility that we haven't seen.
Yeah,
That if
that's
they
weird.
come off getting 3-0'd, that they have such a bad mentality going into the next game that they can't get over the loss quick enough, and that's the team's fault.
Could it also be that the Chinese teams are better than we expected, though?
I think that's true, but I also think what I'm saying is true. That maybe
I'm not saying that you're
Vancouver has a
wrong.
problem.
Because I don't want to say that, but I think it's the Chinese teams
I
are
think
better
they're
than we
better.
expected.
I still don't think they're all top 5 or anything like that. I still think Vancouver's better than what they showed this
I
week.
mean, if they're all top 5, that means only one team is a non-Chinese team in the top 5.
What I'm saying is, it's not like the horse before the carriage here. You're just making dumb arguments now.
No, I was just
To
about
get
to
back
say
on
that.
topic, which is I think Vancouver has a hard time bouncing back either A, from not playing for a long time, and that's a problem, or B, because if they get a bye or something later, it's going to affect them if they can't play off of like not playing for a while. Or B, they have problems
That was B.
getting 3-0'd and then not being able to come back in the next match. That's going to be a problem for them. So
Oh, yeah,
even
if they
it's a
get
problem.
3-0'd and they can't come back from that due to morale, then that's not a good team. Like, they need to fix that.
I'm hoping it's just rust and it would go away.
I mean, I know they're moving Vancouver and like New York and whatnot over back in the Korea area due to location and ping. So we'll be seeing more of them play. So hopefully they'll be able to pick it up and we can see what Vancouver's really like or what
I mean,
they're supposed
is
to be.
anyone concerned that they're not a top 5 team? Let's be real. Really?
A little bit. I mean, I have some doubts. I'm not saying
1 week of results after how
I
dominant they were.
have some doubts. That's it.
I'm okay with some doubts.
I'm not saying
But
that
if
they're definitely, indefinitely.
But
That's
if you
my
had to
final
give them
answer.
odds, what odds would you give them?
I'll have to see him play again because after losing to Guangzhou and Chengdu, not even the 2 better Chinese teams, that to me is like you're not as good as I thought you were, or well, both that the Chinese teams are better than I expected. Which we didn't really know how the Chinese teams paired up against the American or the non-Chinese teams because they didn't play that much. So this is good perspective. It just shows that they have what it takes to beat them. Granted, yes, your argument could be valid where they haven't played in such a long time against someone in that competitive stance, but it's like it goes both ways as well. So I do have
think we'll
doubts that
find out with
Vancouver
them, too.
isn't as good as they are. It's like San Francisco. We were all coming into the season. They were coming off such a good season. They had a lot of their players on the World Cup, and they were looking really dominant. And now they're not as hot as we thought they were. So that gives me more doubts because it's like those 2 were the top last season, and now all of a sudden they're kind of crumbling.
I think we went too far in San Francisco too.
Like had too much hope in them.
No, I think we
Yeah.
took too much away from them.
Yeah, you were tough on me.
Yeah, I think we went a little bit too hard on them. I think we overreacted, which is what I'm saying. Let's not overreact with Vancouver, because I think we overreacted with San Francisco.
I think we overreacted. I think it was a legitimate reaction. They got swept by both elite
Just
teams.
wait till you have one of your teams get put in the hot seat.
My
It's
teams are
not
always
fun.
in the hot speed. What are
It's
you
not
talking
fun.
about?
You always lose. So
Okay, hold up. We're gonna a
only
team
good
that
team-
doesn't lose. Houston this week took
whoa,
two
we're skipping
dubs.
that. Stop.
We're not skipping
a
it.
great
We're going to
match.
go back to it. But this is
No,
valid to the
Paris-
argument I'm trying to take here.
Paris got
Houston, no, they did not.
Yes, they
I
did.
watched that match live. Paris took it all the way to the last round on the last map of the last game in that series. They took it to
Remember-
literally to the
Unfortunate.
distance.
I remember you telling me they were 3-0ing this matchup.
I was really hoping they would. Like genuinely, they took 2-0 coming into the half. And I was like, "Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to be right for once. This is great. This is amazing." And then Philly does what Philly does and, reverse sweeps and I was like, "Please don't. Please don't." But Paris, the last two maps, Paris should have had it. I think that because Philly took that third map and then Philly took the fourth map, it really knocked Paris off and took them back. And it hit their confidence a bit there because Paris was looking super hot coming into that match.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's all I'm gonna say.
I agree.
You couldn't.
Okay, look,
couldn't
I'll make
finish.
the same argument. I'll make the same argument with Atlanta.
Couldn't
you
finish.
better make the same argument with Atlanta because at least Paris took it to the distance. Atlanta didn't even have a chance in Game 5.
Ooh.
I'm waiting for Nova to finish his sentence. I'm not gonna cut him off.
Yeah, comma. Now I'll finish it. This goes to both Paris and Atlanta. I think they're top 10 teams. Saying which one is above one another, Paris or Atlanta, that's up to you guys to fight. I don't know.
Why do you do that to us?
Because I love watching you guys fight against each other. But, I think this just puts a little staple to Philly being a top team. Like, number one. You know what I mean? Because, if they're able to fight off these two teams.
Which, respectively, they're like 5 and 6.
Yeah, they're in the top 10.
Like,
You know what I
they're
mean?
Good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any argument that they're not a good team. Both
Agreed.
I'm pretty sure we agreed last time that these two matches were going to be really good.
Yeah, they were.
Entertaining. Yeah. So I'm glad it went to Game 5 for both of them. But to both teams, man, they just couldn't finish. I guess that's the thing. I don't know if that got to their head, like, hey, we can close this up. And then, they were like, whoa, shit, now we're tied up. What's happening? You know what I mean?
The thing about it is, when you're playing good teams,
Hey, hold on. Don't let the man.
Listen,
Oh, I'm
Like
finished.
That's
I'm
you
finished.
cut
rude.
him off earlier. I get to cut off. You get a cut off and I get a cut off.
That's fair, I guess.
When you're playing a top team and you're up 2-0, if you give them any oxygen and don't just suffocate them out in the series, you're in for a bad time. Because good
Yeah.
teams can bounce back. Like,
As we saw.
good teams will find ways to win games when you don't lock them down.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen when you're you get that 2-0 and you're like, oh dude, all we gotta do is win one, and then they take the point back, and you're like, don't worry guys, hey, we're 2-0, we got this. Then it comes 2-1, you're like, okay, we still have the advantage, and then when it gets to that tie, like that 2-2 mentality, is like, oh shit. You know what I mean? That might have been what happened to both of them.
Exactly.
Like, oh shit, now we're tied. Like, it comes down to this kind of thing. And the team that just came up 2 games just feels great. You know what I mean? The team that just lost 2 games in a row now is like, okay, what the hell? So, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I guess it's time to talk about the shitty team, Houston.
Yep.
Okay, you can't even say that now because they won this weekend, okay? You can't even say that now.
They beat the 2 worst teams in the league. Congratulations, you earned the 3rd worst spot.
Congratulations. Houston won out the best worst team.
They're the biggest garbage
Hey,
fire.
I'll take that. We're the best at something, man.
They're the best at a garbage
We
fire.
3-1 Boston, which was expected, and then we reverse 3-0 sweeps. They watched Philly. They're like, you know what? I want to do what they do. They're the top team. We want to be like that. And so
I
they just do a reverse sweep.
Is Boston better than Toronto? Question mark?
No.
We agree on something.
High five. Yeah.
I want to see that. I want to see Boston, Toronto.
It's next week.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
sure we will see this will be an actual garbage fight. Two dumpsters colliding.
Toronto
And
don't even
Dumpster
know.
Mania
This
2020.
man named Jerry, man, they gonna get that.
We're about to kill the entire ozone layer with all our dumpster fires.
Yeah, they keep on these matches to keep on bringing. Hey, at least they didn't go to Game 7, so I'm
Honestly,
appreciated.
when the Paris matchup, it was looking like it could have. If they would have tied that Game 5, I would have gladly been okay to watch Paris Philly Game 7.
That would have been a fun Game 7.
Oh heck yeah, that would have been intense.
You know what wouldn't have been a fun Game 7? Houston and anyone. Those games were so
And anyone.
like they were fun to watch because I was like, haha, these teams are really bad.
This is true.
It wasn't like, haha, this is a great Overwatch. It's like, wow, these guys are professionals. Like, whoa.
Hey, slowly roll. Houston's got some legitness on there. Okay, we got some legitness. Legitness, dude. I'm sorry.
They earned their 17th place,
We
All
earned.
right.
We earned it.
just like Boston earned their 20th.
I'm telling you,
Hey.
this upcoming week, I'm ready. Boston, Toronto.
He's ready.
I'm telling you, that man Jerry's a bad man,
Oh,
Best.
jeez.
dude. That was
He
the
is.
only fun part of the Houston-Boston game, was watching that man absolutely.
Their only win was their only map wins because of Jerry, basically. Jerry's like, let me just put in work, injects steroids, drinks nitro, and goes ham.
That man is like an all-star. Like, he would be an all-star on a good team. Why is he on the worst, arguably, sorry, Nova,
That was just
arguably
like,
one of the
really?
worst, he's in the
That's
worst
pick.
teams. And dude, that guy is legit a legend.
I think that's how like you get spotted out though. Like, I mean, if he was on a like great team, you know, I don't even think he would be getting a chance because you know the starters, of course, they'd be starting. But I mean, if you're on a crappy team, you know, they'll give you a chance, and then when you get that chance, you get to show your worth. And I mean, you know, what I
And
mean?
he's a rookie.
Yeah, so imagine if Jerry was on like a San Fran or a Philly team. They wouldn't change the starters out for him.
He would carry
I mean-
San Fran.
I can't wait until the good, bad, evil of New York takes hold of Jerry and brings him over.
Oh
Because
god.
I think
Yeah.
we need a new DPS.
If he goes to New York, that is the end of everything.
That's the end of
hope for.
existence right there.
Boston just doesn't exist. Okay, Boston's done.
They have to pull the Shanghai and wipe the slate clean.
Oh yeah, clean it up.
Just,
Um,
everyone's gone.
The,
I mean,
the
they're already-
bleach just doof.
To be fair, they're already doing that. It's only week 10.
True. But another dumpster fight. We had Washington versus Dallas. Man.
Let's set it up that way. I didn't even go that hard on it.
Just set it up.
Can I get some credit for Dallas? That's a good win. We said last week if they've got this win 3-0, that's
It's-
an impressive win.
I'd say it's an okay win. It's an
never
okay.
said
What
Dallas.
Washington isn't as good as we thought. They're like literally middle tier, maybe lower middle tier. Oh my gosh,
They're-
3-0 to middle tier.
Pissing us off.
It has to be 11.
No.
Yes,
They-
because we said Washington and Florida are tied at the hip.
Correct, but they're in that range to be like 12 to 14.
Never confirmed that.
Yeah, we never confirmed a specific spot either. We can't just say, "Oh, they're 11th because we had that
They are
range and we beat all of them." No,
They are 11th.
no.
They convincingly beat like the 14th ranked team. Convincingly.
That doesn't bring them to 11. That brings
mean,
them to like
Yeah, there's
14,
there's-
13.
There's 13. I know you have like 3 other teams.
Yeah, we got 12,
13
13 up
be
there.
close. And they're
Okay,
not.
but Washington isn't as good as we thought. We overhyped them the beginning of the season. We see their true colors and they're not that good. And sure, Dallas 3-0'd them. I'm not saying that's a bad win. I'm not saying that doesn't prove anything. But it doesn't say that they're top 11. They're still
only
like higher middle tier.
Okay, the only teams they've dropped games to, the only teams they've
And here
dropped
comes the
games
same
to,
argument.
is the top 6 teams.
Okay.
Those are good losses.
And
as far as
his-
I'm concerned.
His only win. Like, come on, dude.
I want to ask JT. Do you think Dallas can play against like LA Valiant?
Yes,
and
they
win.
would beat them.
Okay. Do you think they can beat
It
Chengdu?
would be like a 3-2. Yes, they would beat them. It would
Chengdu.
be a close game.
Chengdu.
Yes.
This man crazy. What you smoking?
And you think
They
they
would
could
not
beat
be.
LA Valiant, who
Yes.
I'm sad to say it, 3-1 San Fran last time. I mean,
Yes.
even though San Fran did come back and beat their butt again, but
Yes.
mm,
I don't think they would beat Gladiators. I don't think they would beat Paris. I don't think they would beat Atlanta. And anyone further, Seoul, New York, Vancouver.
This man literally smoking crack.
No, they wouldn't beat those teams.
I mean,
They
he's
would not.
proofing he's a fan. So
I don't think they would beat the Dragons. I take it back. They would not beat Spark or the Dragons.
okay,
So they're literally middle tier, as we would say.
They're 10th or 11th. Yes. All the teams I
Okay.
listed are above 10. Okay, would they beat Florida? Yes. Would they beat Washington? Yes.
I don't know.
Would they
I
beat
think that'll be a good
Houston?
match if they
Yes.
go against
Boston?
Florida.
Yes. Like you could name any team below.
I think Dallas is a good middle team, but
Yeah.
you know,
I think the Florida matchup would be interesting to see. I think it'll be a good one. I think Florida could come out 3-2 on that.
But see, even you saying they're coming out 3-2 and saying they could,
Well, yeah,
That
because I don't know how
they're
it's going to.
probably equal or better.
Well,
'Cause that's
like I
20
said, they're a good middle tier team. Florida's at the hip of Washington. I still think Florida's better than Washington, so I think Dallas is like right there with Florida.
So they would get 3-1.
No, I still think it would be a good match. It would go the
Question.
distance. And it would
All
be
I'm
3-2.
saying is Dallas is now making their case to break into the
They
top
got
10.
one win. Calm down, dude. They win
They've
against a
only
lower middle tier team.
Yeah, but they've only played the best teams. So
And took
now
care
they
of
get to
Alice.
play people that aren't the best teams, and we get to see how good they actually are.
You know,
Getting
if-
spanked by good teams is rough.
I think Dallas is a middle team. That's how I'm gonna put it. I don't think they're 11, but you know they're in that
button every time.
What does it take for them to
12,
be?
13, 14.
Who are they playing next week? They play.
They don't play next week.
What? I think they play.
I think they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. Day one. It's like the
Check
last.
that schedule though.
Yeah,
Check the schedule
Dallas-
right now.
Okay, if we beat Shock, 10th team.
Dude, if you guys beat San Francisco, yeah, I could say you're 10th team.
I'll move you to 11. You don't get into the top 10 yet. You earn 11 if you.
Because that's the same argument we've made for everyone else who's beat them, right?
Well, no, I'd say 11 because San Francisco's not performing as well as I thought.
I put Gladiators at 10. Gladiators are the doorkeepers
I
right
put them
now
at- I
of
put them at 9.
getting into the party. So
Why you guys have so much hype for this? Anyways,
Gladiators are a good team.
they're okay.
I love Gladiators, man.
They're really
Just because the
solid.
movie was good doesn't mean this team's gonna be that good, okay?
It's so weird. Like, you know, two LA teams, like one I love and then one I just can't stand. It's so funny.
It's their
I
play
know.
style. I
It's
hate.
so
I-
weird.
it's so funny.
I really
And yet they
hate-
have the same record against San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, LA took another map off San
It
Francisco.
doesn't matter. The map doesn't matter.
Kind of does, but whatever. Day 2,
Yeah.
Vancouver took a mega L.
Yeah, it's once again the same argument for them.
Same argument.
It's
Okay,
a question
move
mark.
on from that. Shanghai on a actually very expectedly 3-0'd Guangzhou.
Yeah, if they didn't, I would be concerned.
If it was a 3-1, I'd still be concerned.
Yeah.
Okay. Houston, legitness,
We already talked about it.
legitness, and then yeah, Philly, Atlanta. Anything you guys want to talk? I'll sit back on this one.
It's still up in the air. I think Atlanta's still a super solid team, but man, this means like
They're not as good as Paris. I know.
I
I'll sit back. That's what
might have to say, I think Paris is better than Atlanta,
Let's
but like by just like right underneath,
Ooh.
just right underneath.
because I give Atlanta like a 5% window here.
I think they're close. They're just close to each other. Paris, Atlanta. It could go
Agreed.
either way. They could switch every week, to be honest.
I agree with that. And that's one nice thing about those two teams.
They're touching
As
butts.
long as they don't like
Yeah.
fall
That's
off.
the butt.
I think Atlanta might have more firepower. And I think Paris might be a better team.
I mean, like I said, I think this just puts another like
Best team this year.
point, yeah, for Philly to help. They're coming for gold. They're coming for
Beating
glory.
up,
So
whichever way you want to put them, beating up 5th and 6th in this fashion, close games, and being able to eat them out. Like, man, that's like heartbreaking. First off, for Paris and Atlanta, like I felt that game. I'm sure Zeus did too. But
Yeah, my reaction, Nova was hearing it. I was not happy.
oh yeah,
it's a good game.
I'm pretty sure, like, in the group chat, it was like, Viva la France or something like that.
It was.
And
They just hear silence.
as soon as that happened, like, in the chat, I'm just like, reverse sweep. I was like, yep.
I was just dead AF.
I knew they had lost when I didn't hear from Zeus for like 3 hours.
I know, like, no confirmation about it.
Nope.
I had to like actually look up the game. Wait a minute, what?
I was so done. I was like, Paris, you son of a bleep blop.
You
And then the last game
Yep.
for the day. I was pretty disappointed in this game.
That was expected.
Well,
I'll let y'all talk about it. I was expecting.
I think this matchup should have been closer, but I think the outcome should have been the same. So I think San Francisco.
Guardians.
I mean, I think this just puts, like, it just happened. What happened to Valiant? You know what I mean? San Fran just came back and was like, hey, you guys prepare for us the first time. They just came back and were like, hey, we're going to just confirm it. You know what I mean? That we're still in this top 5. I still think they're top 5. I don't know why immediately we shot them down. I think JT has a better feeling of how it feels when, like, a team you root for that's like in the top 5, Vancouver, and they just lose. It just feels so bad when you just start, like, getting shot at immediately. You know what I mean? Because I feel like your team has a lot of expectations.
I don't know if I would put them in the 5th, because that means I'm taking Seoul out.
And Soul's better.
I think Seoul's still better, but no, that would mean Seoul's at 4th. Okay, I could give them 5th, because I do think they're probably better than Paris Atlanta, or at least the same.
Same.
Yeah, I think the top 5. I don't think anyone gets out of the top 5. I think the top 5 just shifts around. That's just me. But
No, I don't agree with that, because people could get bumped. Like,
I mean, oh no, you can.
Vancouver continues to lose, they deserve to go into the bottom of the top 5.
Oh yeah, I mean, someone could definitely get
Top
kicked out
10.
of top 5. I'm just saying, at the moment, right now, people are gonna be moving around in the top 5 because I have Vancouver at 2nd at power ranking, and watching that, we literally talked to Zeus about this. I'm like, I put them in second, and I'm like, they better not disappoint me in this upcoming match. And just losing in that fashion just made me feel like a dumb. So I was
But
like,
let's be real. Okay, I would be okay with putting them at 5th again, but I don't think they're solid 5th. I think Paris and or Atlanta could take that spot, because they are definitely fighting for it.
oh yeah,
they're
two teams fighting.
You're both
Hands
trying to make
in.
their cases, and I think they're both doing a good job of convincing me one of them should be in that top 5.
Yeah,
And I think this should have been a 3-1. I think if, like, in an ideal world, because I don't think Gladiators have the firepower to fight the top 5 yet. Because I think they're like 10th. or
yeah,
9th.
put them in 10th. Yeah.
Personally, I would put them at 9th, but I do think they have a real. You can make the argument either way.
hmm
So I think that's probably a good place for them right now.
All I'm saying, at least Valiant took a map off San Fran when they did the rematch. That's all I'm saying. But
I don't think anyone's arguing that they're not, like, below 10th place. They're like 14th, 13th, 12th. We're not, no one is saying Valiant is top 10. No one is saying that.
and
The middle limit.
they have potential to be not top 5, but definitely like 10, 9, maybe 8.
That's not
I
what
don't
we
know
said.
about that.
That's what I heard.
That's not what we said.
Nowhere close to what I said.
This season's
Not
definitely interesting, though.
listening.
A lot of shaking up, unexpected losses.
I mean, it's shaking up, but it's also becoming more predictable week by week.
Not all the time. I mean, when you have the Chinese teams going against each other, yeah, that's predictable as heck. But then when you have some of the matches, such
Chinese
as like,
teams are the only outliers, in my opinion, so far. Meaning, anytime they play a U.S. team, it's going to be a wild show.
so cool. Oh, hey, hi, sorry. Continue.
Go on, come on.
Go ahead.
You have this super important point.
No, just go ahead. I already forgot my point.
Fight.
Good. It wasn't important. So, in my opinion, so far, the top 10, so 7 through 1 has been interesting, and 8 through 13 has been interesting, and then 20th through 16th have been interesting. And those columns, when they're playing each other in those columns, and who's coming in and out of it. That's pretty interesting. The Chinese teams have been the biggest wild card. Because every time they play, the only time they've played teams outside of, it's been a weird result that we weren't expecting. So I want to see more of that happen to be able to figure out where they're playing and placing.
Honestly, if only this virus hadn't happened, because we'd be seeing a lot more consistency with the matches, and they'd be going against a bunch of the non-Chinese teams a lot more. And so we'd be seeing a lot different play styles and a lot more, wins and losses on all around.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. Well, I want to be excited. I'm not excited for this week. The Chinese teams going against each other again. That's not fun.
I'm not even gonna watch the second time.
I'm
already seen the matches.
That's day 4 and 5 because they have it
Yeah. Why can't we just do normal days?
They have day 1's 2 matches. That's it. I'm like,
Blow up my schedule.
honestly, this messes up everyone's schedule. Well, whatever. You know what? That's just gonna wrap it up for this
Thanks,
video.
Blizzard.
Alright, this is so great. Let us know in the comments what you think the outcome should have been and what team you're excited for. I'm Captain Zeus, followed by my lovely co-hosts Nova Burst. Oh, and JT. He's kind of there. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.